That afternoon, Yin had just gotten home from school. Before taking off her uniform, she stood before the mirror, studying her reflection. She would graduate soon, and this high school uniform would soon be only a memory. Her hair was tied back simply. Something was blooming in her chest. Excitement, of course. She still hadn't decided where to go to college, but her heart fluttered whenever she thought about the new life waiting for her. For a moment, Yin drifted into a daydream until her mother's voice came from outside the room. Yin, come downstairs for a sec. I want to talk, her mother called. Yin walked down the stairs and was surprised to see her father already home from the office earlier than usual. He was seated, patting the spot on the sofa beside him as a sign for Yin to sit close. Good news, her mother said, eyes sparkling. We're going to Seoul this Saturday afternoon. Annie Dalmi, she's finally getting married. Getting married? Yin shot halfway to her feet, startled and thrilled at once. Aunt Dalmi, her father's younger sister, the woman with the bright laugh, the giver of small gifts, the one Yin told about little things that suddenly felt big at her age. 8 years a widow, turning down many proposals with a patient smile. Seriously? You're not joking? Does your mom look like she jokes about stuff like this? Her father chuckled. I can come, right? I have to go. Of course, her father said. You absolutely should come. Saturday, late afternoon, heading into evening. The day they'd been waiting for finally arrived. Yin and her parents had just reached Seoul and went straight to the hotel where tomorrow's celebration would be held. The moment they stepped into the lobby, Dalmi was already waiting with her fiancé, Jeon Eugene, a gentle-faced man, and his son, Jeon Jungkook. Father and son stepped forward together. Finally, you're here. Dalmi hugged them, while her fiancé bowed politely. Thank you for coming all the way from Bizen. The parents exchanged greetings first before Eugene introduced the young man who'd been standing with them. This is my only son, Jeon Jungkook. He's in his second year of college, Eugene said, giving his son's shoulder a light pat. Jungkook bowed to Yin's parents. Hello, uncle, auntie. I'm Jeon Jungkook. Thanks for coming, he said warmly. Up close, Yin noticed how neat and respectful he was. He even stood the way his father did. So this is Jungkook, Yin's mother said with a warm smile to him. This is our only daughter, Yin's father added proudly, introducing Yin. Yin bowed politely. Hello, uncle. Nice to meet you. They all chatted for a bit, mostly the parents and Jungkook, while Yin stayed quiet watching. Secretly, her eyes couldn't seem to leave Jungkook. We're only staying one night, Dalmi, Yin's father said. We'll head back to Bizen Sunday evening. Don't worry. Everything's set. Your room's ready too, Dalmi said. Get some good rest, okay? The reception's tomorrow afternoon. Jungkook immediately offered to help Yin's parents, quickly taking charge of the luggage trolley. The simple gesture made Yin, quietly fluttery, feel warm, even as she kept a safe distance so her nerves wouldn't show. After a small family dinner with Dalmi, Yin came down to the lounge to grab a cup of hot tea. Jungkook happened to walk by, carrying folders for tomorrow's event. Still jet-lagged? A little, Yin said, but happy. Things start at 11 tomorrow. Breakfast is good on the 3rd floor. There's a quiet corner, he said lightly, if you like peaceful spots. Yin chuckled. Sounds like you're a pro at finding quiet places. More like a pro at avoiding lines, he joked. All right, I gotta get back to it. Sleep well. Good luck tomorrow, Yin said. Thanks. Yin watched him walk away. She felt like she was standing at the edge of a pool, the water clear and inviting, but she chose to just touch it with her fingertips. Boundaries. Take it slow. White and green flowers, soft piano music, a photo wall in the lobby. Dalmi looked beautiful, and her husband, Eugene, wore a relieved smile. Congratulations flowed, family and business friend photos rotated, the mood warm and easy. Jungkook came over, smiled at Yin's parents, then turned to Yin. Have you tried the japchae? People say it's really good, he said lightly. Oh, not yet. Yin tried to sound casual. I'm scouting first. Solid strategy. Jungkook stifled a laugh. In that case, let's hit the right side. Chefs usually put the fast disappearing stuff there. He leaned a little, giving her the way. After you. Yin walked on, keeping a comfortable distance. She didn't want to look too eager. At the buffet, Jungkook helped open the tongs and steadied her plate while she ladled soup. Small gestures, but attentive. Yin lowered her gaze, a smile sneaking onto her lips. Do you come to Seoul often? Jungkook asked. Not really, usually only for family events, Yin said. Bizen's great. Seafood there is elite, Jungkook said, taking a bit of bulgogi. If you visit Seoul sometime, Tell me, I can recommend quiet study spots and coffee that's safe at 2 a.m. Yin laughed softly. Sounds like personal experience. Bittersweet, he grinned. Sweet because the assignment's done. Bitter because, yeah, 2 a.m. A small, comfy pause settled. Yin nodded. She wanted to ask a lot about him, but it felt like she'd pulled the handbrake on herself. Don't overdo it. Don't get too close. She was afraid her voice would come out too obvious that she might secretly be starting to like him. Later that night, the party had ended and the guests had gone home. Yin's family's luggage was packed and ready. Dalmi and her husband walked them to the lobby. Thank you for coming. Have a safe trip, Dalmi said. I'm really happy, Yin replied. Congratulations, Annie. Jungkook appeared with an extra box of favors. This is for you. Long trip. You'll want snacks. Thank you, Yin's father said. Yin looked at Jungkook for a moment. Congrats to our new family. Congrats to us, he echoed with a warm smile. See you in Seoul, or Bizen. Don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything. Yin nodded. Okay. She and her parents got into the car and prepared to leave. From the window, Yin gave a small wave, answered by Jungkook with an easy, warm smile. A month later, on a night just before graduation, the steam from the seaweed soup curled faintly over the table. Yin sat between her parents. A notebook and pen lay beside her plate, a new habit, as if every conversation lately needed to be written down. Her father cleared his throat. So, one important thing left. His gaze was warm but serious. You're set on the major, right? Yin nodded. International business. That's been my plan from the start. She glanced at her mother, then back to her father. I know why you chose it for me, so I'll have real preparation to take over the company. Her mother set down her spoon. Exactly. Not just keep it running, but grow it. The question now is, where do you want to study? A small pause hung in the air. Yin drew a breath, arranging the lines she'd rehearsed for days. I want to study in Seoul, she said at last, steady. I want to see a bigger world, feel the city's rhythm, and learn right inside a busier business ecosystem. Her parents traded a look, not angry, just worried. Her father laced his fingers together. Seoul is far, Yin. You're our only child. Honestly, I still wonder, can this pampered daughter of mine handle things on her own? Yin gave a small smile. Dad, I've thought it through. She pulled the notebook closer and flipped to a marked page. Plan A, apply to top schools with strong international business programs. Plan B, if I don't get in, take another route, but still in Seoul. Her mother studied her carefully. I don't just want plans on paper. What about Seoul itself? Are you ready to live without us? I'm not asking to live alone, Yin said, meeting her mother's eyes. I'm asking for a chance to learn to be independent. Gradually, I promise I'll keep my grades up, take care of myself and honor your trust. She swallowed. Please let me try. A brief silence. Her father leaned back, thinking. Her mother finally spoke, softer. If we say yes, there's a condition. Yin straightened. Anything, Mom? You will not live by yourself, her mother said. You'll live with Annie Dalmi. Period. The words dropped like a pebble into a lake. Plop, ripples running all the way through Yin's chest. She understood immediately. One roof with Annie Dalmi, which meant one roof with Jungkook. Her heartbeat kicked up, a knot of nerves and happiness she tried hard to hide. Can you do that? Her mother asked, eyes steady on Yin. Yin nodded fast. I can. I agree. Her father tapped the table edge with a fingertip, as if something had just occurred to him. Jungkook's studying international business too, right? Her mother murmured, agreeing. You saw him at the hotel? Polite, quick on his feet, looks diligent. Her father looked back at Yin. Then apply to the same university, so you'll have someone to ask. Not to piggyback, just to learn the rhythm. The school's name flashed in Yin's mind. Korea University Business School. A big challenge, and exactly what drew her in. So I'll target Korea University, Yin repeated. To be sure, I'm ready to chase the requirements. Her parents nodded, finally on the same page, agreeing, as long as she lived with Dalmi. With that condition, they felt okay about letting their only daughter spread her wings. 4 days before the first day of college, the Seoul sky was streaked with orange. Yin's family car stopped in front of a house with a spacious yard. As the door opened, Aunt Dalmi was already waiting on the porch with her husband, Jeon Gyujin, and Jungkook. Welcome. Dalmi hugged Yin and her mom in turn, while Gyujin shook Yin's dad's hand warmly. Jungkook bowed politely, then quickly helped unload the suitcases. Yin's room is on the second floor, window facing the garden, Dalmi said, eyes bright. Fresh sheets, and there's a little study desk. Yin nodded, trying to hold back the smile that came too easily. Thank you, auntie. Hot tea was set out in the family room. After a bit of small talk, Yin's dad looked at Jungkook, serious but friendly. Jungkook, we're entrusting Yin to you. If she struggles with classes or campus stuff, please remind her and help guide her. Jungkook sat up straight. Yes, uncle. I'll help however I can. Academics are getting used to campus. Just say the word. Yin's eyes met Jungkook's for a second, the kind of brief look that made the whole room feel brighter than the lights. She quickly looked away, pretending to fuss with the teacups. That night, Yin's parents got ready to head back. The hugs lasted longer than usual. Listen to Auntie Dalmi, her mom said, and don't hesitate to ask for help. I believe you've got this, her dad added. Remember our goal. Yin nodded. Yes, Dad. Mom. When the car disappeared at the end of the street, she stood in the doorway with Jungkook, quiet for a beat, then they exchanged a shy smile. If you need anything tonight, just knock, Jungkook said lightly. Officially, welcome to Seoul. Noted, Yin replied, trying to smile even though her heart still ached from parting with her parents. Yet somehow, looking at Jungkook, her chest felt both light and a little fluttery. 2 days before the first day of college. That afternoon, Yin worked up the courage to knock on Jungkook's door. Jungkook, could you come with me to shop for school supplies? I don't really know which stores are good. Sure, he answered right away. Let's take my car. Easier to haul stuff. They headed to one of Jungkook's go-to stationery shops. Yin stood in front of the shelves, eyes sparkling at pastel highlighters, binders, sticky notes, gel pens, and a wall calendar. You need a realistic planner, not one that's all decoration, Jungkook teased. If it's too cute, you'll feel bad actually using it. Busted. That's totally my shopping style, Yin muttered, amused. Jungkook pointed out a 5-ring binder and weekly dividers. This is great for splitting classes. And a financial calculator. Accounting gets scary if your calculator gives up on you. Before heading home, they stopped by a cafe Jungkook picked. Yin sipped hot chocolate, and Jungkook had a black coffee. The conversation circled around light topics, his favorite professors, and general campus life, with easy pauses that didn't need filling. Yin realized the more carefully she tried to behave, the easier it was to just sit across from this guy and feel comfortable. Since that day, they'd slowly grown closer. Jungkook sent short class notes after lectures, and Yin brought him bread whenever she knew he had a late class. On campus, even when Jungkook was with his friends, he always said hi or simply lifted his drink in a little salute when they passed each other. Yin kept all those small moments in her heart, maybe meaningless to others, but priceless to her. And one thing she never told anyone, Yin never saw Jungkook as just her aunt's stepson. In her head, Jungkook was always him, a man, period. Without noticing, 7 months had passed. Yin studied hard, nights in the campus library, statistics classes that made her frown, international business presentations that snagged her voice. Strangely, the busier she got, the less her feelings faded. Instead, her feelings for Jungkook just kept growing. Day by day, she wanted to look good and put together in front of Jungkook, pretty, and not the least bit clueless. Her feelings for him grew like a plant that didn't care about the seasons. Every smile from Jungkook strengthened something inside her, something she could only confess quietly in the margins of her notebook. Until one night. The house was quiet. Dalmi and Eugene were out at a business dinner and would be home late. Only Yin and Jungkook were there. On the dining table, Yin's books and laptop were open, and in the kitchen, water hissed to a boil for tea. Want tea? Jungkook called from the kitchen. Sure, chamomile, Yin said without looking up. Her hand was still scribbling goals, midterms, minimum B+, aim for A in statistics and IB. She stood to tidy the table, a few sticky notes peeled up, one slipped free and open. On it, in her own tiny handwriting, stop falling for Jungkook, focus on grades, failed 7x. Jungkook walked over with 2 cups. His eyes landed on the yellow slip, long enough to read it, quick enough to be startled. He looked up at Yin. Sorry, he said softly, setting the cups down. I didn't mean to. Yin snatched the sticky note on reflex, her cheeks burning. For a second, the world went silent. Neither of them said a word. You read it, huh? Yin finally spoke, her voice small but clear. She stared at the table, then met his eyes. Okay, in that case, I won't pretend anymore. Jungkook held his breath, quiet. I like you, Yin went on, studying the shake in her voice. From the start at the hotel, when we went shopping, and all the days after, honestly, I want you to return my feelings. She gave a thin, bitter smile. Or if you want to turn me down right now, that's okay too. Just be honest. Silence again. Jungkook turned his face away for a moment, like he was picking words out of the air. I'm not trying to play games with you, Yin, he said at last. You're family, in the sense that you live under the same roof as my parents, and you're basically part of my family now. If I give you an answer right this second, I'm afraid it'll sweep you up, and your studies could go off the rails. I don't want that to happen. Then, Yin asked, half hoping, half bracing for a fall. Then, I'm giving you one condition. If you want me to return your feelings. He paused, meeting her eyes. Your midterms have to be mostly A's, not B's. More A's than B's. Yin gasped. What? Jungkook, you know, last semester I only got a few A's. Most were B's. You're seriously giving me that condition? Serious. His voice was calm, almost too calm. I want you to prove you can protect your priorities and your future. If you can do that, then we'll talk again. Something inside Yin's hairline cracked. Sounds like a polite way to say no, she murmured, still loud enough for him to hear. It's not, Jungkook said, softer now. It's the most honest thing I can think of right now. I care, maybe too much, and that means I refuse to be the reason you fall. Yin bit her lip, holding the noise in her chest. Okay, she said at last quietly. If that's the condition, I hear you. She closed her laptop without a sound. Sorry for bothering you. Then, without another word, Yin headed back to her room, leaving Jungkook alone. He gave a small nod, but there was nothing else he could say without making the cut sting deeper. Night thickened. 2 cups of tea sat cooling, untouched. From that night on, Yin chose distance. She stopped knocking on Jungkook's door for help, even with small things. At the library, she picked a different table. They were together only at breakfast and dinner, because those were the times she couldn't avoid him at home. Even then, something had shifted. Yin's conversation seemed aimed only at her aunt and uncle. She wrote focus in her planner, and between the lines of focus, she guarded her heart against hopes that felt like promises but, to her, sounded like a condition designed to be impossible. Jungkook noticed the change. He understood Yin had drawn a new line between them, so he matched his steps to it. He still greeted her, still spoke when necessary, but he kept himself from standing too close, from asking anything too personal. The warmth that once lived between them was replaced by tidy politeness. From the outside, nothing looked wrong. 2 students functioning, attending classes, laughing with their own friends. But Yin knew, the space that used to feel like a bridge between them now felt like a colder river. On those late nights in her room, Yin stared at her target, mostly A's. She studied until her back ached, not to meet someone else's condition, she told herself, but for her own sake. And yet, every time the letter A floated up in her mind, Jungkook's face appeared at the edges. Every time her fingers slid across her planner, a little bitterness seemed to travel right into her fingertips. In the end, the distance held. They didn't give each other the silent treatment, but they didn't warm each other up anymore either. In the middle of Seoul's rush, 2 people who used to walk side by side learned to walk straight, on their own, pretending the small ache in their chests was just another ordinary part of growing up. The house was quiet that afternoon. Jungkook's dad was still at work. Yin's aunt hadn't returned from her social club, and as far as Yin knew, Jungkook was usually at the library late every Friday. The loneliness grew tighter with time. Every second felt like it pressed on Yin's chest. She stood on the balcony, staring blankly at the garden. Jungkook's face drifted through her head again. With a sigh, she looked down at her phone. She hesitated for a moment, then tapped her mom's name. Mom, are you busy? Her voice was small. Nope, what's up, sweetheart? Her mother answered, gentle but alert. Mom, I want to move out, please. The words finally slipped out, soft but firm. Can I live on my own? No, her mother said immediately. I won't feel at ease if you live alone. Then, a dorm? Yin rushed to patch it. 4 to a room. A lot of my classmates live in the dorms, so I wouldn't be alone. A brief silence on the other end. Then her mother asked carefully, is there a problem with your auntie or uncle? No, Yin answered quickly. They're great. Jungkook, her mother asked again. Yin paused for a split second, then forced her voice to stay even. Not him either. They're all good to me. I just want a change of scene. Her mother took a breath. If you move out suddenly, I'm the one who'll feel bad toward any Dalmi. We entrusted you to them. I'm afraid they'll take it the wrong way. Yin bit her lip. She couldn't say the real reason, that she wanted to put distance between herself and Jungkook before her feelings finished tearing her up. I get it, but Mom, please think about it, she said, her voice cracking just a little. All right, her mother replied softly. I'll talk to Dalmi slowly, but please, reconsider first. Don't make a snap decision. The call ended. Yin was still holding her phone when she noticed a shadow in the doorway. She froze. Jungkook. He stood still, a notebook in his hand. She had no idea when he'd gotten home, or how long he'd been there. No idea how many lines he'd heard. Why do you want to move out of this house? His voice was calm, but there was weight under it. The air thinned. I want a change of scene. I want some freedom. That's all. You're not free here? Jungkook stepped out onto the balcony, closing the distance a little, eyes never leaving her. As far as I know, my dad and your auntie never stop you from anything. Study, hang out with friends, take extra classes. Everything's fine. Yin didn't answer. She knew he was right, and that was the problem. There was no excuse she could hide behind. So this is because of me? Jungkook asked, quiet but straightforward. Yin swallowed. Her mind searched for another reason, but nothing came out clean. In the end, she gave a small nod. I want some peace. I want to move on. You already turned me down, and now it feels weird and awkward for us to keep living together like this. His brows pulled together. I never said I turned you down. You gave me a condition you knew I'd struggle with. Yin shot back, a thin edge slipping into her voice. Mostly A's. That's basically a soft no, and you know last semester I only got a few A's. Jungkook stepped closer but kept a respectful distance. I set that condition because I thought you needed an anchor, extra motivation, so you'd stay focused on your goal. I don't want us to start something and then watch you slip off your bigger plan. The problem is, I don't understand part of the material. Yin exhaled, eyes warming as she fought the tears. I've tried, but it feels like walking through fog. Sometimes that's just my limit. Then why didn't you ask me when there was a topic you didn't get? Jungkook lifted both palms a little as if surrendering to a sweet kind of confusion. Why not knock on my door and say, I don't get this part. I'm literally right here. Yin sighed and closed her eyes for a moment. I'm embarrassed, she whispered. I don't want to look dumb in front of you, and I don't want to be a bother. I know you've got a ton of your own coursework. If I'm busy, I'll say I'm busy. Maybe I can't help right that second, but I promise I'll make time, he said, a wry smile flickering. But you never even gave me the chance to say no, you pulled back first. Yin looked away toward the garden. I just don't want you to think I'm stupid because it takes me longer to get it. I'd think you were even dumber if you didn't ask your senior, who has the best GPA in his year, when you literally live under the same roof with him, Jungkook said, his voice softening. All right, let's make a new deal. The condition stays, not to reject you, but for us to face it together. You aim for mostly A's, and I'll be with you all the way. That's how you prove you can keep your focus on why you came here in the first place. Deal? Yin looked up. You really want to tutor me? Jungkook nodded, steady. Really? And next time your brain's in knots, tell me right away. Don't disappear. A beat passed. Then Yin gave a small nod. Okay. First plan then. Let's crack the chapter that's choking you. Tonight? Jungkook's smile warmed, the kind that said they were on the same team. Yin's own smile answered, small but warm. Yeah, tonight? It had been 2 months since that night. Almost every evening, Yin studied with Jungkook to work through the parts she didn't understand. She'd finished her midterms last week, and today the grades would be released. Notifications started popping up. Yin stared at the screen, her heart thumping against her ribs. Statistics, A, IB, A. Economics, A. English, A+. Elective, B. And the overall result, A's in the majority. She covered her mouth, eyes misting. Then she jogged toward the quiet bench in the campus backyard, where Jungkook was waiting for her. Jungkook. She held out her phone with trembling hands as she sat down right beside him. Jungkook read it, the corners of his mouth lifting wide. Majority A's, he said softly, proud. You did it. I did it, Yin echoed, as if confirming reality. Jungkook looked at her for a long moment, warm. I'm sorry if that condition stressed you out. Honestly, even before the grades came out, I was leaning toward the same answer. I just wanted you to have that last nudge, to believe in yourself. Yin laughed through a half sob. Well, you definitely made my heart race. Sorry, and thank you for being strong. He spoke gently, smiling at her. Yin drew a breath, gathering her courage. So, what about us? Jungkook nodded, firm. I accept your feelings, and to be honest, I love you too. Silence for a beat. The evening breeze stirred the leaves. In that case, Yin ducked her head, then looked up again. Can I ask for a present? What kind of present? Jungkook asked patiently, with a small smile. Can I ask you to kiss me? Jungkook blinked, then chuckled softly, sweetly surprised. He leaned in, lifting a hand to smooth a strand of hair at her temple. Of course. He kissed her forehead first, light, warm. Yin closed her eyes, chest swelling. When she opened them, Jungkook searched her gaze for permission, and Yin gave a small nod. A moment later, their lips met. The kiss was brief and gentle, never rushed. Yin laughed shyly, hiding her face behind her phone. Thank you for everything. Thank you for running alongside me, Jungkook replied. I'm really happy to see your grades keep going up. He stroked Yin's hair softly. Call your parents, they'll be proud. Yin nodded eagerly. She called her parents right away, proudly sharing her results. Beside her, Jungkook just sat and smiled at the girl, who was now officially his girlfriend.